right. Sorry for the, almost a year and a half break. I initially was going to do like every version of Space Invaders that I could come up with under RetroArch Retroboot, but then of course life's been pretty strange for all of us. Anyway, so I'm playing with the latest Retroboot version that I could find that I just got like a week ago. So this is Retroboot Extreme, which is Retroboot, and I apologize if I got these names wrong, from Genderbent, that MagnusRC tweaked and included the latest, greatest cores from KM/Kyland, the KM cores that he tweaks and optimizes for the mini machines, like the PSC and the NES, SNES, and Genesis Mini. Anyway, so one of the things that's cool, to me at least, I went ahead and was playing with it, and it just automatically worked with some of these other platforms that I struggled with before, such as the VIC-20. So here is Avenger, aka Space Invaders clone, for the VIC-20, and it just works. So it may not look like much, and you'll notice some weirdness with the coloring, you know, as the laser blasts go down. I believe that's because this uses pseudo-bitmap graphics that are, you know, maybe like Atari 8-bit-esque, redefining the character sets on the fly. I'm guessing how this works, because the VIC-20 didn't have real graphics. So considering that, this is very impressive. And the VIC-20 used the standard Atari style joysticks back in the day, which I don't have on this, but so it was kind of cool. This is 1981. VIC-20, for, you know, all the people that made fun of it, was a neat little thing. I think it was like half the price of the Atari computers at the time. Anyway, we don't need to see how bad I suck, but, you know, a lot of people, this was their first little computer that they could afford, and a lot of people were running, I have so many random memories that may or may not be accurate at this point in my life, but I vaguely remember some of my classmates and classmates' parents hacking around on them with these custom BASIC cartridges. The VIC-20 only had like 23 or 24 columns, but there was hacks, software, hardware, I forget, that would allow you to do a full 40 column and play with programming languages like BASIC. And I vaguely remember a classmate's dad just teaching himself BASIC because he had calculations he was using for machining or something that he was doing at work. And I don't even know if they had programmable calculators back then. And he was using his VIC-20 basically as a really high-end programmable calculator. This would have been like early 80s. I don't remember if TI or HP had anything like that back then. So, I mean, they were cool for what they were. And you know what? Thank you very much to Genderbent. I've used his stuff in the past. Retroboot is by far the easiest way, in my opinion, to play a lot of these old games, and it just works. And when I bought my PlayStation Classic, it was like $25 or something. Dump everything onto a stick, throw your ROMs on the stick, and there you go. So Genderbent, thank you very much. MagnusRC is continuing to post videos. Kyland is still tweaking the hell out of the RetroArch stuff to make it work on these little wimpy mini systems, because their hardware, I think the PSC is more like a, maybe like a Pi 3, I guess. But, I mean, they're not super powerful, and it's really cool to be able to do all this stuff. I mean, I'm digging the nostalgia. Anyway, there you go. If you want to play old systems, and like the VIC-20, super, super easy on Retroboot.